Hello everyone, my name is Bisiga M.Kayode, a master's degree holder and an educational stakeholder from the Department of Science and Technology Education, Faculty of Education in the Lagos State University. I am here to unveil the silent suffering, exposing the abuse of men in marriages by their spouses and the suggested solutions to these problems. But before I move on, I will you all to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more educating videos like this. When we talk about domestic abuse, we often think of women as the victims, overlooking the fact that men can also suffer abuse within their marriages. Unfortunately, society tends to ignore or downplay the abuse experienced by men at the hands of their spouses. In this essay, we will explore the different ways in which men can be abused in their marriages. It's important to acknowledge and address this issue, recognizing the pain and suffering that men endure in abusive relationships. Emotional and psychological abuse. One common form of abuse that men experience in their marriages is emotional and psychological abuse. This type of abuse involves constant criticism, belittling, and humiliation, which can damage the victim's self-esteem and cause deep emotional wounds. Men may also face manipulation, control, and threats that leave them feeling trapped and powerless in their relationships. Physical abuse. Although less common, men can also suffer physical abuse in their marriages. This includes acts of violence like hitting, punching, slapping, or throwing objects. Men who endure physical abuse often struggle to seek help because society expects them to be physically strong and capable of defending themselves. Sexual abuse. Sexual abuse is not limited to women. Men can also be victims of sexual abuse within their marriages. It may involve unwanted sexual advances, coercion, or forced sexual acts. Male victims of sexual abuse often experience shame, confusion, and long-term emotional and psychological consequences. Financial abuse. Another form of abuse that affects men in their marriages is financial abuse. This includes controlling or restricting access to financial resources, making the victim economically dependent on their spouse. Financial abuse can make it difficult for men to leave an abusive relationship or seek help, as they may lack the means to do so. Isolation and social alienation. Abusive partners often isolate their victims from friends, family, and support networks. Men in abusive marriages may experience social alienation and may be discouraged from seeking help due to societal expectations and stereotypes. The isolation they endure can lead to feelings of loneliness, helplessness, and worsen the impact of the abuse. Verbal and psychological intimidation. Verbal and psychological intimidation is a form of abuse that men can face in their marriages. It involves constant threats, yelling, screaming, or using aggressive language to instill fear and maintain control over the victim. This type of intimidation can result in anxiety, depression, and a constant state of fear for the victim. Neglect and withholding affection. Abusive spouses may neglect and withhold affection as a way to control their partners. Men in abusive marriages may experience a lack of emotional support, physical intimacy, and the neglect of their basic needs. This form of abuse can lead to feelings of abandonment, resentment, and a diminished sense of self-worth. Societal challenges and barriers. Male victims of abuse face unique challenges when seeking support and leaving abusive relationships. Societal expectations and stereotypes often downplay their experiences, making it harder for them to seek help. Many support services and resources primarily focus on female victims, leaving men with limited options for assistance. Addressing these societal challenges is crucial in providing adequate support to all victims of domestic abuse. Suggested solutions to these problems. Addressing and solving the problem of men being abused in their marriages requires taking several important steps. Here are some simple suggestions. Increase awareness. It's important to let people know that men can also experience abuse in their marriages. By spreading the word through campaigns, media, and community discussions, we can help people understand and recognize this issue. Challenge stereotypes. We need to break stereotypes that say men should always be strong and invulnerable. By talking openly about abuse against men, we can help everyone understand that anyone can be a victim, regardless of their gender. Provide support. We should create support services specifically for male victims of abuse. This includes helplines, counseling, support groups, and safe places where men can go for help and support. Train professionals. It's important to train people like police officers, doctors, and social workers to recognize and support male victims. They need to know how to help and treat them with kindness and respect. Improve laws. We should review and update laws to better protect male victims of abuse. This means making sure they have access to protection orders and that the legal system treats them fairly. Work together. Different groups, like government agencies, non-profit organizations, and community leaders, should join forces to create effective strategies to address abuse against men. By working together, we can provide better support and resources. Educate and prevent. We need to teach young people about healthy relationships, respect, and nonviolent ways to solve problems. By teaching them these values early on, we can help prevent abusive behaviors. Encourage help seeking. We need to create safe places where men feel comfortable seeking help. It's important to encourage men to come forward, share their experiences, and know that their voices matter. Research and collect data. It's important to study and understand how often abuse happens to men in marriages. By collecting accurate data, we can create better policies and programs to address the issue. Change culture. We should promote a culture that rejects abuse and violence in marriages. This means challenging harmful beliefs and behaviors and promoting healthy relationships based on equality and respect. By taking these steps, we can work together to address and solve the problem of abuse against men in marriages, creating a safer and more supportive society for everyone. Once again, I remain yours sincerely, Bisiga M.Kayode. Thank you for watching.